Listen carefully. This is an emergency.
Who is this?
Oh, hello, January movies. I was wondering where you were. I was worried that 2023 was going to be filled with good movies this year. So let's start off by talking about a movie I didn't realize was a remake. House Party is the story of Damon and Kevin, who are aspiring influencer and rapper who are fired from a party that they were planning to host, as well as their actual job of cleaning houses. While cleaning LeBron James's house, the two get the idea to throw a huge party at the house while LeBron James is at a meditation retreat, and really, that's all there is to say about the story. It does call back to the original film, including one of the original actors making a cameo appearance. To be honest, most of the film is really boring. It's not really an original story, besides that, but it goes through the exact motions you'd expect a movie to go through. That is, until Kid Cudi comes into the film. And oh my god, do things get hilarious. Without spoiling, it's like watching the original House Party, but then they spliced in the Tobey Maguire scenes from Babylon into the movie, and then after that, the film just goes back to the House Party. LeBron James does make an appearance in the film, which makes sense, he also produced it, and I admire him for having fun and making fun of himself. However, overall, this movie was still mostly boring, and the lead characters were not really funny. I barely thought they had any good chemistry in the film, and with the exception of Kid Cudi, I will probably forget most of this. I give this a 5 out of 10. It's closer to a 4 than a 6. The second film I saw was a faith-based horror fantasy film called The Devil Conspiracy. I had never heard of this film before, nor have I seen a trailer for it, but I was expecting it to be really stupid. However, after watching the film, I can say with utmost certainty it is really stupid. But it was also kind of fun. It at least had an original idea of a woman who was forced to carry and give birth to the Antichrist, while a biotech company steals a shroud with the DNA of Jesus Christ on it to clone him and to try to have Satan possess him. But it's also not the best written story either. The acting was actually really great, and the composer does go hard with the score for the film, so much so that I wanted to download the soundtrack. But for an archangel, they really make Michael dumb in this movie. He doesn't tell God that he's going to stop the Antichrist, which is like, why? He's an all-powerful being that could stop this whole thing with the literal snap of his fingers. But don't worry, Satan's followers are equally as stupid, because after the woman keeps escaping, and has been escaping several times, not one person was just like, hey, maybe we should just beef up security around this person that's giving birth to our literal God. We shouldn't just, leave her alone. But she is constantly rescued and saved all throughout the movie, and there's not one beef up of security at all. The CG in the film was pretty terrible, and I laughed every time they had a quote-unquote jump scare. It reminded me of the CG in The Unholy. Honestly, if I was actually alone in the theater, I would have done some more riffing, but still, it was competently directed, and I still had a lot of fun, only as a guilty pleasure. And I give the film a 5 out of 10. The last film I saw was Plane, and it was the weirdest Disney prequel I've ever seen. The film is essentially Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Assault on Precinct 13, which makes sense because this was the same director as Assault on Precinct 13. One thing I admire about Gerard Butler is that at least he does his research and takes time to work with people whose occupation he's pretending to do. Even if the film is overall terrible, at least I know he's putting forth effort, and Plane is no exception. The biggest problem with Plane is that it was boring. I almost fell asleep in the theater, which I didn't, only because it was a packed theater and everyone was all around me. The action was so slow and clunky, and there were some awkward pauses that could have easily been edited out of the film. There was a villain in the film, which I didn't think was necessary, and even when he was there, he was just not interesting at all. The majority of the film was handheld and shaky cam, so the cinematography looked like complete ass. Maybe because this was the last film I had in my schedule today, but it was overall a very weak film to end on. There were some people in my screening that enjoyed it, but with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 over-the-top death scenes, this was mostly a forgettable film, and I give it a 4 out of 10. Check out my other reviews and other videos on this channel, and subscribe for more. I also have a letterbox where I rank these movies in order from my favorite to least favorite of the year, so definitely check that out as well. I hope you all have a great day, and thank you for stopping by.